Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
An official written record of names or events or transactions. A cash box with an adding machine to register transactions, used in shops to add up the bill. Indicate a certain reading, of gauges and instruments. Record in a public office or in a court of law. Be aware of. Did you register any change when I pressed the button? Have one's name listed as a candidate for several parties. A book in which names and transactions are listed. An air passage, usually in the floor or a wall of a room, for admitting or excluding heated air from the room. A regulator, as a sliding plate, for regulating the flow of air into a furnace or other heating device. Computer science. Memory device that is the part of computer memory that has a specific address and that is used to hold information of a specific kind. Enroll to vote. Register for an election. Enter into someone's consciousness. Did this event register in your parents' minds? Manipulate the registers of an organ. Music. The timbre that is characteristic of a certain range and manner of production of the human voice or of different pipe organ stops or of different musical instruments. Record in writing. Enter into a book of names or events or transactions. Send by registered mail. I'd like to register this letter. Show in one's face. Her surprise did not register. An official written record of names or events or transactions. A cash box with an adding machine to register transactions, used in shops to add up the bill. Have or contain a certain wording or form. The passage reads as follows. Make sense of a language. Can you read Greek? Obtain data from magnetic tapes or other digital sources. This dictionary can be read by the computer. Indicate a certain reading, of gauges and instruments. The gauge read, empty. Interpret something in a certain way. Convey a particular meaning or impression. I read this address as a satire. Be a student of a certain subject. She is reading for the bar exam. Audition for a stage role by reading parts of a role. Interpret something that is written or printed. Read the advertisement. Interpret the significance of, as of palms, tea leaves, intestines, the sky, also of human behavior. She read the sky and predicted rain. Look at, interpret, and say out loud something that is written or printed. The king will read the proclamation at noon. Something that is read. The article was a very good read. To hear and understand. I read you loud and clear. Register electronically. They recorded her singing. Sound recording consisting of a disc with a continuous groove, used to reproduce music by rotating while a phonograph needle tracks in the groove. Indicate a certain reading, of gauges and instruments. A compilation of the known facts regarding something or someone. Al Smith used to say, let's look at the record. Be aware of. The sum of recognized accomplishments. The lawyer has a good record. A list of crimes for which an accused person has been previously convicted. He ruled that the criminal record of the defendant could not be disclosed to the court. Make a record of. Set down in permanent form. A document that can serve as legal evidence of a transaction. They could find no record of the purchase. An extreme attainment. The best, or worst, performance ever attested, as in a sport. He tied the Olympic record. Anything, such as a document or a phonograph record or a photograph, providing permanent evidence of or information about past events. The film provided a valuable record of stage techniques. The number of wins versus losses and ties a team has had. At 9-0, they have the best record in their league. Provide evidence for. The blood test showed that he was the father. Pretending that something is the case in order to make a good impression. That ceremony is just for show. Take someone to their seats, as in theaters or auditoriums. The usher showed us to our seats. Indicate a certain reading of gauges and instruments. The thermometer showed 13 degrees below zero. Indicate a place, direction, person, or thing, either spatially or figuratively. I showed the customer the glove section. Show in, or as in, a picture. Be or become visible or noticeable. His good upbringing really shows. Something intended to communicate a particular impression. A show of impatience. Give an exhibition of to an interested audience. She shows her dogs frequently. Give expression to. She showed her disappointment. Establish the validity of something, as by an example, explanation or experiment. The mathematician showed the validity of the conjecture. A social event involving a public performance or entertainment. They wanted to see some of the shows on Broadway. Finish third or better in a horse or dog race. He bet $2 on number 6 to show. Give evidence of, as of records. The diary shows his distress that evening. Make visible or noticeable. She showed her talent for cooking. The act of publicly exhibiting or entertaining. A remarkable show of skill. Record in a public office or in a court of law. File for divorce. A line of persons or things ranged one behind the other. File a formal charge against. Office furniture consisting of a container for keeping papers in order. A set of related records, either written or electronic, kept together. Place in a container for keeping records. A steel hand tool with small sharp teeth on some or all of its surfaces, used for smoothing wood or metal. Proceed in line. The students filed into the classroom. Smooth with a file. File one's fingernails. Have one's name listed as a candidate for several parties. A written document preserving knowledge of facts or events. A written document preserving knowledge of facts or events. A treasury for government funds. A strongbox for holding cash. Unstratified soil deposited by a glacier, consists of sand and clay and gravel and boulders mixed together. Work land as by plowing, harrowing, and manuring, in order to make it ready for cultivation. Till the soil. A strongbox for holding cash. A strongbox for holding cash. A container, usually with a slot in the top, for keeping money at home. Be a signal for or a symptom of. These symptoms indicate a serious illness. Indicate a place, direction, person, or thing, either spatially or figuratively. He indicated his opponents. Give evidence of. The results indicate the need for more work. Suggest the necessity of an intervention, in medicine. Tetracycline is indicated in such cases. To state or express briefly. Indicated his wishes in a letter. Several related operations aimed at achieving a particular goal, usually within geographical and temporal constraints. Go on a campaign. Go off to war. Run, stand, or compete for an office or a position. A race between candidates for elective office. I managed his campaign for governor. An overland journey by hunters, especially in Africa. Exert oneself continuously, vigorously, or obtrusively to gain an end or engage in a crusade for a certain cause or person. Be an advocate for. A series of actions advancing a principle or tending toward a particular end. He supported populist campaigns. A small stream. Have a particular form. The story or argument runs as follows. Perform as expected when applied. Does this old car still run well? Compete in a race. He is running the marathon this year. Become undone. A row of unraveled stitches. She got a run in her stocking. A score in baseball made by a runner touching all 4 bases safely. The Yankees scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Run, stand, or compete for an office or a position. Who's running for treasurer this year? Come unraveled or undone as if by snagging. Her nylons were running. Direct or control. Projects, businesses, etc. She is running a relief operation in the Sudan. Extend or continue for a certain period of time. The film runs 5 hours. A race between candidates for elective office. He is raising money for a Senate run. Include as the content, broadcast or publicize. Pass over, across, or through. The act of testing something. Travel a route regularly. Carry out a process or program, as on a computer or a machine. Run a new program on the Mac. Flee. Take to one's heels, cut and run. If you see this man, run. Cause something to pass or lead somewhere. Have a tendency or disposition to do or be something, be inclined. These dresses run small. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. Service runs all the way to Cranberry. The act of running, traveling on foot at a fast pace. He broke into a run. Cause to emit recorded audio or video. Keep company. The heifers run with the bulls to produce offspring. Change or be different within limits. Interest rates run from 5 to 10%. Deal in illegally, such as arms or liquor. Continue to exist. A race run on foot. She broke the record for the half-mile run. An unbroken series of events. Nicholas had a run of birdies. Reduce or cause to be reduced from a solid to a liquid state, usually by heating. The pouring forth of a fluid. American football. A play in which a player attempts to carry the ball through or past the opposing team. The defensive line braced to stop the run. Be diffused. These dyes and colors are guaranteed not to run. Move along, of liquids. Progress by being changed. Run through your presentation before the meeting. Pursue for food or sport, as of wild animals. The dogs are running deer. An unbroken chronological sequence. The play had a long run on Broadway. A regular trip. The ship made its run in record time. A short trip. Take a run into town. Be affected by, be subjected to. Run at temperature. Be operating, running or functioning. The car is still running, turn it off. Carry out. Run an errand. Cause an animal to move fast. Run the dogs. Cause to perform. Run a subject. Change from one state to another. Run amok. Cover by running. Run a certain distance. Make without a miss. Move about freely and without restraint, or act as if running around in an uncontrolled way. Who are these people running around in the building? Move fast by using one's feet, with one foot off the ground at any given time. Don't run, you'll be out of breath. Occur persistently. Musical talent runs in the family. Run with the ball, in such sports as football. Sail before the wind. Set animals loose to graze. The continuous period of time during which something, a machine or a factory, operates or continues in operation. The assembly line was on a 12-hour run. The production achieved during a continuous period of operation, of a machine or factory, etc. A daily run of 100,000 gallons of paint. Travel rapidly, by any, unspecified, means. She always runs to Italy, because she has a lover there. Unrestricted freedom to use. He has the run of the house. The passages through which air enters and leaves the body. A duct that provides ventilation, as in mines. A commercial enterprise that provides scheduled flights for passengers. A designated route followed by airplanes in flying from one airport to another. A duct that provides ventilation, as in mines. A duct that provides ventilation, as in mines. A control that maintains a steady speed in a machine, as by controlling the supply of fuel. An official responsible for control and supervision of a particular activity or area of public interest. Any of various controls or devices for regulating or controlling fluid flow, pressure, temperature, etc. A device that preserves information for retrieval. A device that preserves information for retrieval. Mark with one's signature. Register formally as a participant or member. Carve, cut, or etch into a material or surface. Convert ordinary language into code. Address. A work of literature, in a style less formal than a dedication. Draw within a figure so as to touch in as many places as possible. Write, engrave, or print as a lasting record. Register formally as a participant or member. Register formally as a participant or member. Cause to assemble or enlist in the military. Recruit new soldiers. Register formally as a participant or member. The party recruited many new members. A recently enlisted soldier. Any new member or supporter, as in the armed forces. Seek to employ. The lab director recruited an able crew of assistants. To come or go into. The boat entered an area of shallow marshes. Be or play a part of or in. Register formally as a participant or member. Set out on, an enterprise or subject of study. Take on duties or office. Put or introduce into something. Become a participant, be involved in. Enter a race. Make a record of, set down in permanent form. Come on stage. Have an effect upon. Will the new rules affect me? Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Connect closely and often incriminatingly. This new ruling affects your business. Make believe with the intent to deceive. Act physically on. Have an effect upon. The medicine affects my heart rate. The conscious subjective aspect of feeling or emotion. Contend against an opponent in a sport, game, or battle. Princeton plays Yale this weekend. Pretend to have certain qualities or state of mind. She plays deaf when the news are bad. Manipulate manually or in one's mind or imagination. She played nervously with her wedding ring. A dramatic work intended for performance by actors on a stage. He wrote several plays but only one was produced on Broadway. The act using a sword, or other weapon, vigorously and skillfully. A weak and tremulous light. The play of light on the water. Gay or light-hearted recreational activity for diversion or amusement. It was all done in play. Activity by children that is guided more by imagination than by fixed rules. Freud believed in the utility of play to a small child. Consider not very seriously. She plays with the thought of moving to Tasmania. Cause to happen or to occur as a consequence. Play a joke. Replay, as a melody. She played the third movement very beautifully. Game. The activity of doing something in an agreed succession. It is still my play. Perform on a stage or theater. She acts in this play. Stake on the outcome of an issue. She played all her money on the dark horse. An attempt to get something. They made a futile play for power. A deliberate coordinated movement requiring dexterity and skill. The runner was out on a play by the shortstop. Engage in recreational activities rather than work. Occupy oneself in a diversion. On weekends I play. Cuz to emit recorded audio or video. I'll play you my favorite record. Movement or space for movement. There was too much play in the steering wheel. Behave carelessly or indifferently. The removal of constraints. They gave full play to the artist's talent. Engage in an activity as if it were a game rather than take it seriously. They played games on their opponents. The act of playing for stakes in the hope of winning, including the payment of a price for a chance to win a prize. There was heavy play at the blackjack table. Verbal wit or mockery, often at another's expense but not to be taken seriously. In games or plays or other performances, the time during which play proceeds. Rain stopped play in the fourth inning. Play a role or part. Gielgud played Hamlet. Act or have an effect in a specified way or with a specific effect or outcome. This factor played only a minor part in his decision. A preset plan of action in team sports. The coach drew up the plays for her team. A state in which action is feasible. The ball was still in play. A theatrical performance of a drama. The play lasted 2 hours. Be at play. Be engaged in playful activity. Amuse oneself in a way characteristic of children. The kids were playing outside all day. Behave in a certain way. Play safe. Be performed or presented for public viewing. What's playing in the local movie theater? Bet or wager, money. He played $20 on the new horse. Cuz to move or operate freely within a bounded space. The engine has a wheel that is playing in a rack. Discharge or direct or be discharged or directed as if in a continuous stream. Play water from a hose. Emit recorded sound. The tape was playing for hours. Employ in a game or in a specific position. They played him on first base. Exhaust by allowing to pull on the line. Play a hooked fish. Make bets. Play the casinos in Trouville. Move or seem to move quickly, lightly, or irregularly. The spotlights played on the politicians. Participate in games or sport. We played hockey all afternoon. Perform music on a musical instrument. He plays the flute. Perform on a certain location. The prodigy played Carnegie Hall at the age of 16. Play on an instrument. The band played all night long. Pretend to be somebody in the framework of a game or playful activity. Let's play like I am mommy. Put a card or piece into play during a game, or act strategically as if in a card game. He is playing his cards close to his chest. Shoot or hit in a particular manner. She played a good backhand last night. Use or move. I had to play my queen. Use to one's advantage. She plays on her client's emotions. Utilization or exercise. The play of the imagination. Music. The distinctive property of a complex sound, a voice or noise or musical sound. The timbre of her soprano was rich and lovely. Music. The distinctive property of a complex sound, a voice or noise or musical sound. A degree or grade of excellence or worth. The quality of students has risen. A characteristic property that defines the apparent individual nature of something. Each town has a quality all its own. Of superior grade. Quality paper. An essential and distinguishing attribute of something or someone. The quality of mercy is not strained. High social status. A man of quality. Of high social status. People of quality.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.